It is just expedient to iron out certain issues that had triggered a whole lot of interest, some condemnation and calls from friends and relatives that I am supporting an Islamic and a terrorist country that have been sponsoring terror around the country, Nigeria in particular. We need to establish something here. Looking at the Taliban of Afghanistan, for example, let us look into the activities of this country. Now, in the Soviet era, when the US, during the Cold War between the Soviet Union and US, there were a whole lot of disagreement, ideological and governance, a whole lot of differences between these two major blocs. And in Afghanistan particularly, there was a government that was backed by the Soviet Union. This government were in charge of Afghanistan, and we are strictly opposed by the US arm of interest. Some persons who are of US ideology, they receive financial support, they receive military training, they receive a whole lot of aids, all prepared to host, to destabilize the Soviet-backed government in Afghanistan. They succeeded in destroying and disorganizing this government. They called there was a need for Soviet government to withdraw. They did that absolutely in 1989. Then the government struggled between then till 1992. A war broke out, major war broke out between these two factions, the US and the Soviet faction. Then the war lasted from then to 1996. In between, 1994, Taliban group erupted. This was a group of students who were of radical ideology, Islamic scholars. They came on board and utilized the opportunity and had their way from the vacuum created and occupied the government at the end of the 1996 when the war ended. From then, the government became a Taliban government. Now, we have to look at this. Afghanistan being ruled by Taliban. This is the same Afghanistan that harbored and sheltered Al-Qaeda under the watch during the rule of this so-called terrorist group, the Taliban. Now, in this sense, you can look at the Taliban as being an eruption of this disagreement from the Soviet and the US government. I do not want to say that the US were responsible or the Soviet Union were responsible. That is not the part of the bargain here. Now, the point is this, that we have come to see that the Taliban, being an associate of these Al-Qaeda, are Sunni Muslims. Secondly, too, we have also come to see that ISIS is also a Sunni Muslim. Fortunately, the Iranians are all Shia Muslims of different religious, different Islamic ideology, or the Sunni Muslims. So how do you rationalize a Sunni Muslim of different ideology to be sponsored by Shia Muslim who are of different and parallel ideology, Islamic ideology entirely, from Adam, from the time of the death of Muhammad himself? So in that sense too, you can also know that these our Islamic people disturbing in the north, like Boko Haram, ISWAP, and all the bandits, all of them are Sunni Muslims. So do you rationalize, do you try to agree with whoever that is accusing Iran or being responsible when they are all of different Islamic ideology? This is why we have to look at issues factually rather than looking at what the media pushes to you. This is Henry Wilson. Thank you.